All right, everybody, we are back here live on the stage show. Sean McGinnis once again in the host chair, and I've got Todd Batty here to tell us all about SSX. You guys are returning to a fan favorite franchise. It's been a few years, but you guys are back here. How do you approach a game like this, which is like, you know, you have a lot of fans on this particular title, and you wanna bring it into the modern era, but at the same time, you wanna preserve what made the original game so much fun, right?
Yeah, I would say we approached it carefully,
yeah,
and with great trepidation. No, I mean we're super excited to be bringing SSX back. I've always thought SSX was one of the greatest IP franchises in EA Sports history, and we want to create a game that is true to the original and really, you know, builds off of the original. But then, yeah, I mean, with the next generation of consoles, we also have to take an evolutionary leap forward and use that to the best of our abilities and try to carve some new territory.
Cool. So we've actually got a video of the game right here. Go ahead and describe for us, Todd.
So this is a look at Race It. So 3 pillars to SSX: Race It, Trickett, Survive It. This is a race down Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro is one of the most iconic mountains in the world. It has this very iconic crater, very famous crater. We kind of thought it would be cool to start riders all around the rim of the crater, and then have them meet down in the hole and actually bust down and ride inside the frozen volcano. So down here you'll see, you know, racing is about, obviously it's about speed. You know, one of our original taglines we wanted was to create a burnout on snow kind of a feel.
Right.
Extreme speed and being on the, you know, the edge of control. It's about intense head-to-head competition. It's about doing tricks to get boost. And then really more than anything else, our mountains are huge. We're delivering big open mountain experiences, and there are tons of different ways to get down. You can see Mac and Elise actually just took a shortcut outside the mountain, dropped down ahead of the Kaori there. Yeah, races in SSX are really intense. This demo ends short, but Kilimanjaro is actually a gigantic mountain. And we're going to see she finishes off in style.
Oh no!
She's about to jump to the helicopter, but that's all right.
That's all right. It's okay. So we've got a number of audience questions coming in. We've got Nick Kane from Belfast who's wondering, what can you tell us about online multiplayer? Can you give us any insight into what sort of game modes, anything we should expect?
I would love to talk about online and multiplayer because we have some really cool innovations coming. We're not talking about that here at E3. We're sort of saving that for Gamescom, where we're really going to unveil everything we're doing.
Okay.
I can say though, you know, and we've said this already, we're very inspired by what Criterion did with Autolog. I love everything that Criterion does, obviously, and what they did with Autolog. And you know, talking with those guys, it was really about putting friends at the absolute heart and center of the game and letting everything else revolve around that. And we're going to deliver a very similar experience. Not what you would expect, I think, and I think people will be pleasantly surprised with what we're doing.
Tom Vickers from Sheffield, England is wondering, how does the madness compare to SSX3 and Tricky?
I think we have all the madness and then some new madness. Yeah. I mean, we certainly got a little bit of a different look to the game, but you know, even with the visuals, we're trying to carve some different territory. We're doing cool stuff, like you can see in that clip right there. We're using projected lights a lot in our world, where we can actually change what we project onto the surface and use that anywhere. So this is a deadly descent. The player's trying to survive down 15 meters of the south face of Denali, and it was really hard for players when we were focus testing to flip back and forth between looking at the 2D HUD and looking at the three-dimensional world. So we thought if we can put a lot of that feedback and stuff that would typically be found in a HUD actually in the environment and in the world itself, it would be pretty cool.
All right. Now this looks like a pretty intense run right here.
So this is what SSX fans have been waiting for. This is called Trickett. This is a mountain in the Himalayas called Makalu, and this is a very low altitude drop. As you can see, we take a lot of creative liberties with the topography data that we start with from NASA. And the biggest thing that we're really proud of here is, you know, we're finally delivering on the fantasy for the player of being able to trick or ride off anything. In SSX, if you can see it, you can ride it. You can jump off of it, you can trick it. If it's got any kind of an edge to it, like the Great Wall here, you can grind it. Nice. Gone are the days of, oh, there's a log and I can grind that log. It's really more about we're detecting all the surface around the rider and just scanning and looking for sharp edges. And if the player requests a grind and it's sharp enough, you can grind it. So the combinations that you can put together, get into a 6x multiplier, stringing together endless combinations, that's all there in SSX, and it really takes gaming back to SSX, old school Tony Hawk. We're really excited about it.
Nice. So let's see. Kai from Seattle is wondering about customization, any sort of character customization, things like that.
So yeah, we attacked that in early days, and one of the biggest things we wanted to do was deliver an incredibly robust gear design, and to make sure that all of the gear in the game has a gameplay effect. So we're attempting to do for gear and for snowboards in particular what Borderland did for guns, and literally have thousands of different things available.
Oh, really?
Gear customized per character that would give different characters perks if they use gear that's customized for them.
Okay.
I think people are really going to like the amount of depth that we're going to have with our entire gear system.
All right. Let's see. Ralph Wiggum from Springfield, that's probably not his real name. He says, SSX had the best cheats ever. Any good cheat codes for the new version?
Yeah, so we do cheats very late in development. I actually haven't even started thinking about cheats yet, but I'll keep that one in mind.
All right. A lot of people are wondering about, have you guys adapted any sort of Flick-It controls from the Skate franchise?
Yeah, so one of the things that's really cool that I kind of want to talk about is controls. So a lot of false rumors floating around about controls, and I've heard SSX is using Skate controls. Here's the truth.
Okay.
We haven't actually finalized our controller scheme. I've been making games for almost 10 years. We don't actually finalize what we're going to do until about 10 days before we put it in the box. Moving different functions onto different buttons is actually very trivial in game development. Right. One thing, though, that I am committing to us doing, and I feel very passionately about, is we're going to have 2 live control schemes in SSX at all times,
okay.
which means if you're a skate gamer or you're a first-person shooter gamer and you like using double sticks like many people do today, you can use the right analog stick to jump. You know, you can pull down to preload your character, pop it up to do a big jump. You can just flick it up to do a quick jump, and then once in the air, we have a really intuitive trick system with tons of combinations, all using the right stick and different gestures. But if you're an old-school gamer like me, or a lot of SSX fans who are used to doing tricks on buttons, you can do all of the same functionality you do on the analog stick using button inputs. We're using the face buttons right now. We've been trying that out. We've tried shoulder buttons, more classic SSX style. But we finally figured out a way to get all of the fidelity and all the different combinations you can get with an analog stick mapped onto buttons. We have a really cool, intuitive design. I think players are going to love it.
All right, cool. Well, Todd, sounds really good. One last question for you. Can you tell everybody when the game is going to be out in stores?
Yep, January 2012, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
All right, thanks a lot, Todd.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, guys, that was SSX. Now let's go check out an interview for Silent Hill Downpour.